besides the fictional worlds you've created, why do you call your home Ellison Wonderland?
Because it's a bad pun.
Beyond the bad pun.
That's the answer. Why is it? You know, what is it with interviewers? You give, you know, it is a riding the razor's edge. If 20 years ago you asked me why do you call your house Ellison Wonderland, I said, oh, because it's a bad pun and it amuses me. And now you come back 20 years later. If I give you the same answer, you say, oh, well, he's got it all scripted. It's all down pat. If I give you a different answer, you say, but 20 years ago he said, blah, blah. The answer is, it's a lousy, silly pun, and I like it, and that's why I did it. There's no greater... Sometimes, my boy, a cigar is just a cigar.
All right, so now I know it's just a cigar.
Okay.
Sometimes cheesecake is just cheesecake.
I work a single here, reality. Just, you know.
Well, in terms of this idea, the way I look at it, you've got a few people in the penthouse, most of us are in the basement, and there's a couple of us on the first floor, and some of us will find the elevator and go up.
People have babies. People, you know, found a dynasty. That's what they do. But if you're a writer, you say, all I want to do is leave behind one story. 100 years from now, I want them to be listening or reading A Christmas Carol, or The Gift of the Magi, or The Lottery, or Big Two-Hearted River. Those are famous stories which will live on. And Quentin Crisp, a marvelous aphorist, he said, artists in any medium are nothing more than a bunch of hooligans who cannot live within their income of admiration. And that's absolutely true. We constantly need to be told that we can still do it, particularly if you've been doing it for 40-something years. You need to know that you can still pull the plow. And any writer who says anything other about why they continue to do it, other than they're hoping to beat the clock, is lying. They may be lying to themselves, but they're basically lying, because all the movies that I've missed, all the times I never got laid, I got a T-shirt that says, "Not tonight, honey. I've got a deadline." Yeah. Dinners that I haven't gone to, places that I haven't visited. I never climbed Kilimanjaro because I had to write. I had a deadline. A couple of weeks ago, about 4 years ago, I had a quadruple bypass. I had angina, and you know, I didn't have a stroke or anything. It was one of those. And they found my arteries clogged up, so they reamed out the arteries. They took this. They opened me up, and they took this all the way from my ankle all the way up to my crotch, and they cracked me open like a lobster, and they put my lungs out on this side, my heart out on that side, and they, you know, gave me a new highway in my chest with this vein out of my leg. So a few weeks ago, when I had to do this story that I told you about for United Airlines magazine for Hemispheres, I started getting pressure in my chest, and my wife was worried, and she said, "You got to go see the heart specialist. You just got to go." And I said, "Not till I finish the story." And she said, "Well, at least go see John Rahm. That's our GP." And I said, "Not till I finish the story." So she called John on the sly, and John called me and said, "You're an asshole." He says, "You got your, you know, you don't understand. You've got your priorities all mixed up." And I said, "No, I don't, John. I'm 66 years old. If I don't know what my priorities are by now, I don't deserve to be alive. I knew exactly what my priorities were. My priorities were, don't go into the grave with that story unfinished, because that story is an important story. You know it is. All you got to do is sit your ass down and write it. But once you have stood at the door of death, which is
where you were.
Exactly, and I mean that's not a trope. I mean, while I was under, the door was open. I saw this door standing open. There was fog on the other side, and this strange figure, this not very pleasant figure on the other side, like that. And I thought, gee, this is really interesting, you know. I mean, I'm having a synonym, a homily, whatever it is, for death. I mean, isn't that amazing? And but it scared the crap out of me. I don't scare easily. I'm a fairly tough to scare guy. But when I came out of it, I thought, whoa. I mean, I've never even considered suicide, but I thought, you know, wow. I think I'll stay alive for a while yet, because that was very creepy, and I know very well that I should not be messing around with my health and with the pains in my chest, but I had to write the story. I had to get it done. I had to get it out, and that's because someday, somewhere, maybe I'll have a shot at posterity by that story.
Is the idea, do you think 100 years from now anybody will know how to read?
Well, there's a phrase in Latin, spero meliora, I hope for better things. I have no idea. I have watched in my lifetime, just in my lifetime, illiteracy, semi-literacy, and the belief in the obscurantus and the idiotic soar to enormous proportions. Every newspaper carries an astrology column, for God's sakes. People watch wrestling on television. They know it's fake, but thousands pay to watch this fraudulent thing and pretend that it's real. No one speaks well in this country. No one thinks well. Everyone believes in flying saucers. They believe in Kennedy assassination hoaxes. They believe Marilyn Monroe was killed by the CIA. They believe in Bigfoot. They believe in Christian stuff. Forget Christian stuff. I don't even want to go near that because, what do you mean? He dares to say that Jesus didn't walk on water? When the people who died in the cult said the same thing, we're going to be taken away to
UFO.
They say, well, they're crazy. No, Catholicism says the same thing. When you die, you're going to be taken. The rapture will carry you away. All the rest of us heathens are going to burn in hell, but you're going to be taken to heaven. Yeah, right. I got your heaven right here. Oh God, this country makes me crazy, and I can't abandon it. It's my homeland.
It's your homeland.
I have to stay, and they don't love you for being the loyal opposition. They don't love you at all. Ah! Burn him at the stakes, like the last scene of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Ah, 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 ah! I'm the devil to them. Well, fuck them if they can't take a joke. I grow more and more intolerant of the excesses of organized religion, which serves its own ends. Belief is a wonderful thing, and it sustains many people. It also keeps people very gullible, very naive. It keeps them dumb. I like to believe that the human race is godlike, that we are capable of godlike acts. But if we're not asked to be godlike, if we're told that we are nothing but poor, miserable clay and we're going to burn forever unless we keep saying God, 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 God all the time, why should we ever aspire to being good? Why should we ever aspire to being great? And the great thing about it, the thing that makes me say, well, maybe the cockroaches shouldn't take over just yet, is that every once in a while, there is a good deed performed. There is a kind act. There is a piece of art that is produced that says, yes, this species should be given another chance. There was a news item. A kid in some grade school had a chemotherapy, and they shaved his head bald. Every kid in the class shaved his head bald, and the teacher too. And I heard that, and I said, yes, yes.
There's hope.
That's what the human race is like. Not all of this, Hosanna, Hosanna, give me money in my tray.